What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Our Streamers Cheaters. Today we're going to be talking about a Facebook gaming streamer who goes by the name of Brickthegoat. This guy is actually linked to Recon X Gaming, who we recently put a video out where we exposed him for cheating. So we're going to take a look at Brickthegoat's gameplay in today's video. If you do enjoy the video today, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Badboy Beaman. It's the best place for you guys to contact me about any streamers, no matter how big or small, if you believe they are cheating. Also, guys, go and check out our second channel, Triple B Gaming News. It's linked in the description below. Right, let's crack on with the video. As always, guys, we come across to the channel first. This is Brickthegoat on Facebook Gaming. As you can see, he is a gaming video creator. So let's scroll down a little bit and take a look at his About section. We come down to the About section and we can see that he is a level up content creator. That means that he has monetization options active on Facebook Gaming, which means that he can actually get donations from his viewers. He's got 140 people who follow him. So we're going to take a look into some gameplay, and before we get into this, guys, I just want to let you know when we actually went and recorded this, he was live. So the gameplay that we're going to be spectating in today's video was whilst he was live streaming. So let's just go and get into it now, and we'll give a full analysis of the gameplay that we recorded whilst he was live. Okay, so before we get into this, you need to know that anybody who doesn't play Rebirth, that is, when you kill an enemy, their teammates do pop up on the minimap, okay, with like a sort of pulse coming out of the body, and it does give you the location of the rest of their team. So we need to pay attention to the minimap whilst analysing some of these gameplay for wall hacks, especially on Rebirth. So let's get into it now, and we'll see whether or not he's pre-aiming things, pre-firing things, he shouldn't know where enemies are and so on, as well as his aim. We're going to be paying attention to that in this video.
Hostiles up into the area. Watch the skies. You've got gas moving in.
He pre-fired there slightly. Again there. So in that moment then, let's pull it back slightly. You see on here, he's killed somebody on the roof at this point, and it's showing the enemy's teammates on the minimap on the left there. And there. Did somebody show up on the minimap where he just pre-fired there? Was somebody just popped up then? I think they were. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. Yeah, somebody popped up on the map there. So we would have awareness of the enemy's location there. The way that enemy just dropped in then, and the way in which he shot him. I've got to say this. All of these kills with the time to kill do appear to be headshots. But how would we know whether or not they are headshots? You can clearly tell that that camera is positioned and sized perfectly to cover the whole kill feed. Why would you need to do that? So we'll skip through the part where he's spectating his teammate here. Okay, so he's redeployed at this point. We're going to be focusing on whether or not he's pre-aiming or pre-firing or tracking anybody through walls. So just pay attention to that, as well as paying attention to his aim. Is he actually hitting his shots, or are they just registering even though the aim isn't on target? Is he locking onto the enemy's head? Because we need to focus on that due to the fact of where he's got his camera positioned. It just seems like it's perfect to hide the kill feed, okay? So let's get into it again, guys. He's redeployed now. Straight for loadout. Stood out in the open without a worry of anyone shooting him. Gets the revive whilst, you know, out in the open.
Are you here, Perp?
Okay, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to pull that back and see whether or not he had any knowledge of that enemy's whereabouts, okay? From this point we'll do. In fact, we'll pull it back a little bit further. Watch the minimap, see whether or not that enemy who we just pre-fired shows up on a minimap from this point. Nope. Pull it back again, because this is another thing we're going to pay attention to. Now, when he peeks through the window, was there a possibility that he saw the enemy through there? Has he seen the enemy there? No. But if he was to have wall hacks on, at that point, he would be able to see the location of the enemy over there on the other side of the building. Okay? So he's gone to push in that window and then decided just on a split moment decision to push round to the other side of the building. I can't see an enemy there. And bear in mind, guys, the quality of his streams are 720p at best. So we've got to make do with what we can. Still can't see the enemy there. Now you can. And he's pre-firing that. He's already jumping around the corner to shoot in that direction at this enemy. But it wasn't until the enemy jumped out that his aim decided to actually work. Okay, his aim was all over the place until that enemy jumped out and it seemed to stick with him. So let's see if he got a headshot. No. Surgical eliminated. Now after he gets this kill, the teammates will pop up on the map and you can see up on the top left hand corner of the minimap. So the enemy he's just killed, his teammates are on prison roof by the looks of things. Now he looks over here. I can't see an enemy. He dips behind this box here. Then an enemy starts shooting towards him.
Pushing me.
And again with the aim there, it's like he was missing shots and then it locked onto the enemy head. Let's continue watching.
He just said, bro, this kid's Terminator.
Keep in mind, guys, that he's on 20 kills at this moment as well. Looked like he'd done a little bit of a look around there whilst plating up, which is a common thing that you do see. Again, those shots were ridiculous. Hip fire up close. It's a big sign that somebody doesn't want to lock onto an enemy. If they have it set to aimed at down players, maybe. Hip fire up close, which means that their ADS would be their toggle for the aimbot. So he's got a UAV active now, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to tell whether or not wall hacks are being used. So he's just pre-firing up there. Although he's got a UAV active, and you can see the chevron, at any point from where he stood, it could mean that the enemy is on the ladder going up at anywhere, any point on that tower. So he starts pre-firing right there. Fair enough, it could be that maybe he thinks if the guy is going up the ladder, they might poke their head up at the top and he might get a couple of shots on him. Let's keep watching. Look at him try and get position for this now. He's that confident, he pushes out towards the storm. And the storm's coming in to try and get a position on him, and then he decides to rotate round here. But before we get into this, I'm going to pull it back slightly because remember, he had a UAV active. So from here, he's got the UAV active, yeah? So he's getting a couple of people showing up on the corner over here. So he's getting information at this point that there are enemies over there. It's only now that the UAV stops working, so he's pushing towards them. So he does have the knowledge that the enemies are over there. It's not just a wild push. But those shots do seem to be a little bit too sticky. And that right there, we're going to pull that back. This is something I noticed and really want to point out, because I've actually seen people mock this in the past. People talking about aimbot with throwing knives, people laughing about the fact that you use an aimbot with throwing knives, thinking that it doesn't exist. Well, in fact, it does. We've actually demonstrated in the past with a streamer who we exposed that they were using grenades with aimbot and they were throwing them directly locked onto an enemy's head who was downed. Now, this was somebody who obviously didn't know how to hide their cheats very well, which is a good thing because they were easy to expose. But they were locking onto the enemy head whilst throwing grenades, which was causing him not to be able to kill the enemy because the enemy was shifting side to side, causing the grenades to miss. But this is exactly what this looks like now. But watch now as he goes to throw the throwing knife, how his aim tracks the enemy perfectly. Watch.
So there they are. Contact. Stun grenade out.
And it's only for a very short moment, okay, until he throws the throwing knife. But you can see it just track with the enemy nicely. Let's continue watching.
I don't die so easy.
Now again with that one, that almost looked like he had knowledge of the enemy's position. What you got to remember here though, guys, is with the storm pushing in the way it is, if he knows that there's another enemy there, which he did due to the UAV that we saw prior before he made the push down towards tents. So he knew there was more than one enemy there. He'd killed one. He got stunned, which means that the second enemy stunned him. And then he's decided to push in that direction. Now, the enemy didn't run straight across his path, so he knew that the enemy was rotating out of the storm in a direction that he did go. But the way in which he follows him and then pre-fires those boxes, those crates, is a little bit strange. So we'll watch again from here. He's just been stunned by that enemy. They're showing up on the minimap as well, pulsing, because he's just killed the teammate. And he starts pushing in this direction. He catches a little glimpse of the enemy here. Let's go back a little bit to try and catch that. Right there, that's the enemy right there, okay? So he knows the enemy is there. But the way in which he jumps around those boxes and starts shooting at these ones here makes me believe that there could be ESP wall hacks in use, that he thought that the player's skeleton or player box, or maybe even just player distance or name, was right there and that there was no obstacle in his way, no obstruction, so that he would hit his shots as soon as he jumped out. But in fact, there was a couple of crates there. He's jumped out, realised that, and waited for the enemy to jump out. But watch his aim now. As soon as that enemy peeks, his aim snaps to the enemy and sticks with him. Let's continue on.
Focused. Focused.
It's always a happy ending as well, guys.
Recon inbound.
Pops a UAV, so again, he's got knowledge of these enemies, but those shots just seem to be a little bit too straight. And that's the happy ending we were talking about. But let's pull it back to the first shots at the top of the steps, okay? So he's got knowledge on the minimap with a chevron pointing down on the red dot, so he knows that the enemy is down the steps behind these two buildings, okay? The enemy peeks his head, but watch this aim now. It's just like he shoots in that direction. He doesn't really adjust his aim. You see it move in a straight line. Once he starts shooting, once that enemy's head pokes back up, it moves in a straight line directly to that enemy. He downs the enemy very fast, which means that it was a headshot with the time to kill. Runs out of ammo there. He runs out of ammo. I believe that's the only reason he didn't win that gunfight. I believe that he has something assisting his aim in this gameplay. I also believe that there is knowledge of enemies that he shouldn't have throughout this gameplay, but also he plays it very well with UAVs. He hides it very well by using the knowledge that you get after killing an enemy and their teammates show up on the minimap. But based on a couple of little telltale signs throughout that, with a couple of 360 spins, a couple of pre-fires, there is definitely big signs of wall hacks in this gameplay. And his aim just doesn't seem natural to me. Well, there we have it, guys. After spectating Brickthegoat's gameplay, I would say there are massive signs of wall hacks and definitely something going on with his aim as well. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. And if you did enjoy the video today, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. If you want to support the channel further, hit that blue join button today and become a member of the Triple B fam. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Badboy Beaman. And if you want to stay up to date with anything related to the gaming news side of things, hit up our second channel. It is linked in the description below. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!